Good morning, you guys. How's it going? I wanted to do a flip through on a journal that I finished up last night. This is one of three distressed covers that I've been working on, and I really like the way this one has turned out. Yeah, so this is the one that I finished up first. There's a couple others that are very similar in style, not necessarily, the way they look, but similar style that I should be finishing up here pretty soon. Um, anyway, so sorry about well, no, not sorry, but I hope that this fabric is not too terribly distracting, but I'm just absolutely in love with it. And this is just a sheet that I snagged out of my mom's Goodwill box. But I love it. I think I'm gonna coffee dye some of it and see how it turns out. But anyway, so let's get into this journal. Um, so the front, basically, I just took an image that I had decoupaged onto some heavy cardstock with beeswax and, layered some coffee dyed fabric and there's just some cotton like muslin. Actually, this is tobacco cloth and then some linen and then attach some vintage buttons and some little, paper flowers and leaves and things like that. So, and then, the spine is basically constructed out of duck cloth and um, like a table runner that, had some cool like scroll work and stuff on it. So, and then you can see the back is just like a distressed kind of green color with a little bit of Inca gold. No, it's not Inca gold. It's liquid leaf around the edges, and I just kind of splattered some on there too. So I'm pretty happy with it. And then the closure is a hitch post with a couple of a couple layers of seam binding. Obviously this is adjustable. So, if it winds up being fatter than this at some point, you could always loosen that up a little bit. But it's pretty good right there. So that just, kind of unhooks, so to speak. Um, and I used quite a few of the flower images that came out of that Garden Flowers in Color book, and then were stitched onto some tags. So I made a pocket here on the front with one of those, and then here's one of the tags that I made with sort of some like collaging behind a piece of acetate on there. So that slides behind there. So again, normally I use, book pages and coffee dyed paper, random maps and things like that. So this is obviously no exception. I took a bunch of, there's like a travel theme stack that I purchased recently, and I think I got it at Hobby Lobby or something. Anyway, so I just copy dyed a whole bunch of it, and any of the pages that were maps, I kind of folded them like they were an actual map, and I used some of those in this book. So there's just another piece of coffee dyed, scrapbook paper, basically. One of those vintage style, bags. That's actually, I got that from Dottie. It's one of my family pictures. I'm not sure who that is, but I know that at some point, at some level, he's related to me. Came from my mom's old family pictures. This is just like a tuck spot, I guess. A little piece of a greeting card that I cut up. A little tag. Just kind of tuck in there. Lots of writing space. I definitely try not to over embellish my journals, because, you know, I want this to be used as a journal. You know, I feel like people that purchase my journals, they definitely appreciate that, and so I'm trying to maintain that. And where I do embellish pages, I definitely go all out. So I used one of my clusters here with like a foil doily behind it. And then this is actually one of the little appliques from the Sari Silk that I purchased, and a little bridge score sheet, and just some coffee dyed like ledger paper. And I used some of the Flow book paper in here that I coffee dyed. This is from a really, really old, I don't think no, it wasn't an atlas, it was just an encyclopedia, but, and some sheet music. And in the center of this signature, I used another one of those tags with the acetate on the front, and a piece of Sari Silk as like a little tab on there, and just some scrapbook paper there. And here's a tag that was coffee dyed and then sprayed with some like gold, you know, alcohol ink spray or whatever. Just a little image here, like a vintage architectural type of street scene image there. And some coffee dyed paper, another little tag, more coffee dyed paper. That's, you know, just folded up to be used for journaling. This is cut out of a vintage magazine. That's the actual page from the magazine. It's not a printed image. And a little card made with a, you know, like a floral image stitched onto the front. So you'll notice in most of my journals that, you know, there's usually 5 or 6 pages where there's like no embellishment really at all. I kind of like the paper to, the paper that I choose to sort of stand on its own and make its own, you know, statement, I guess, so that you actually see it rather than covering it up with a bunch of other stuff, you know. This is a page from the French dictionary, and just a pocket made with a stitched image on a piece of cardstock with acetate over the front. And this, you know, the other side of that bag is filled with a piece of onion skin typing paper, and then a little tag of coffee dyed paper, and then another sheet of, you know, it's folded in half. So I try to put, you know, larger stuff in these bags that I use. Another piece of the coloring book that I'm trying to use up. A tag with an image of a rose with some coffee dyed muslin attached at the top. Excuse me. Oh, and this actually flips out. There's the end of the first signature. The front of this signature starts with a tag that I've just attached basically as a tuck spot or a pocket, and inserted just some journaling cards behind it. Just another little pocket with a tag in there. Kind of self-explanatory, I guess. Some more coffee dyed paper, and then just like a stenotype you know, image from a book. There's a postcard from that pack of paper I got from Tuesday Morning recently. This is another like collaged piece, stitched with a piece of acetate on the front on a piece of cardstock. I really like the way that looks, so I kind of went with that for a while. And I'm sure you guys recognize this paper. I love that pack of Tim Holtz paper. I actually have another one that's all intact that I'm gonna break into here pretty soon. This is one of my clusters with the tuck spot, and then, you know, a small tuck spot and then a larger one behind it. Some coffee dyed paper, and another journaling card here. This is quite a fat journal. There's a lot of you know, paper in here. On this paper clip, we've just got, you know, a few pieces of coffee dyed cardstock, another sheet or another page from the French dictionary, and just a piece of coffee dyed cardstock again. Not a ton of journaling cards in this book, but there's definitely a lot of writing space. There's another little collection of you know, stuff to write on. And I'll have this listed by the end of today for sure. It's not on my shop yet, but I will have it uploaded sometime today. A little pocket with a piece of coffee dyed cardstock there. There's a map of Italy in this pocket, and then another piece of that Tim Holtz paper. Coffee dyed cardstock, another little tag here, and a cluster on the front of this one. And this is basically just like a tuck spot on the paper there. Other half of the bag, piece of coffee dyed paper there, and then a bridge score sheet in there. Another tag with a stitched image. And on the back cover, I've got kind of like a double pocket. Just a couple of images here in that little tuck spot on the front, and then a couple that go in the back. So, and then a little flower embellishment on the back with some paper leaves, and those are painted like with metallic paint and probably Inca Gold or something. Yeah. So, and then there's the back, and I left the you know, the signature string, I guess, just kind of natural there, and you could attach some stuff on there if you'd like. I think I may actually add a couple of eyelets on here. I forgot to do that last night, so I'm going to add an eyelet right here, and then another one right here on the back, or excuse me, right here on the back, so that you could attach charms and things like that if you want to. I may add one right up in here. Possibly. I'll have to see what the you know, how it'll go through that, because that's kind of thick right there. So, but anyway, yeah, so there's another journal that is going to be listed, like I said, sometime today. So, all right, well, thanks for watching, you guys. Have a great day. Love you. Bye.